When the Bulldogs started this season, they were expected to be one of the teams to beat, but because of health reasons and other things, they just can't seem to get it together.
They sure can't. Well, here's Fox Sports 1670's Bill Shanks with tonight's BS report.
Well, another week, another loss for the Georgia Bulldogs. It's not like they had lost to Florida and then Auburn as they have done in the past. This was a loss to Missouri and then Vanderbilt after they almost lost to Tennessee the week before in Knoxville. What team in America could survive losing its top 2 running backs and its top 3 receivers? Not one. But that's no excuse for the performance Georgia had on Saturday at Vanderbilt. Remember last week when Missouri coach Gary Pinkel was asked about Georgia's injuries and said that it didn't look like they had anyone on defense that was hurt. That was a shot, by the way. There was only one player on defense out against Missouri, so Pinkel's point was his team was just simply better. Vanderbilt was probably not better the other day in Nashville, but they definitely played like they wanted it more. Down by 14 to start the fourth quarter, the Vols had 17 unanswered points to beat Georgia by 4. Now, I've been a critic for Mark Richt for a few years, and it all goes back to the Alabama game in 2008. Georgia was the #1 team in the country and had the Crimson Tide in Athens. It was a blackout with a tremendous energy in the stands and the entire city of Athens. Alabama jumped out to a 17-0 lead on Georgia, and remember, I wanted to see if Coach Richt was, what he was doing on the sideline, if he was doing anything to try to rally his troops. Well, nothing. All he did was pace the sidelines back and forth, and before you knew it, Alabama had a 31-0 lead on Georgia. Rick's calm approach didn't really work that day, and it didn't work this past Saturday either. When Vanderbilt was coming back in the final quarter, what was Rick doing? He was pacing the sidelines with a calm expression on his face and no visible emotion. He went nuts earlier in the game on the 2 targeting calls, but when his team was floundering in the fourth quarter, nothing. Now, to expect Rick to be something he's not is silly. He's in his 13th year, so to expect him to change is unrealistic. But when fans are watching that on television and they are more emotional and more upset in their living rooms, it's tough to take. That's why people are getting a different attitude about Rick. Most still support him and believe he's a good man, but with each passing loss, some are going from, I don't want him to get fired, to, well, maybe it won't be a bad thing after 13 years if he just walks away. That's a big difference. And the longer he's at Georgia, the older he gets, the more unrealistic it is to expect that he will change. He's getting settled in as the coach at Georgia, and his comfort level might be just too comfortable. Georgia is desperately missing running back Todd Gurley. Out of all the players that are injured, Gurley is the best one. This kid was being talked about as the best running back in the nation before he got hurt. But he's missed 3 games now, and the Bulldogs were lucky to win just one of them. If they get Gurley back, they'll have a chance to finish strong. But if not, this team is in jeopardy of going from a potential 10-win team to one that might struggle to finish above 500. Let them lose to Florida or Auburn or, for heaven's sake, Georgia Tech, and we'll see how warm Mark Richt's seat gets then.